And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is May 12th, Tuesday, 2026. Hope you had a good day. Before we get going, yes, I'm the doofus. Yes, I know how things work. But yes, I said it completely wrong on radio yesterday. We were talking about the redistricting and gerrymandering. That has only to do with the districts in the House. The Senate is the states. And I believe I said the Senate also. Duh. Just so you know, I know these things. It didn't sound like I knew. Anyway, but something else I wanted to bring up just real quickly. I have made the statement more than once in recent weeks of the complete miscalculation by us on Iran. I've received numerous emails. Half agree, half are cursing me out. I'm being called un-American. Just so you know, Admiral Raven has come out. This is an admiral now, and has admitted that the U.S. is in a worse position now than before the war started. He revealed that the Strait of Hormuz is completely closed and the U.S. failed to deplete Iranian missile sites. Just letting you know. And we don't say it to put down. We don't have TDS. We say it because we believe in our TDS, and that's truth derangement syndrome. We continue to believe they're miscalculating. We continue to believe that the president talks too much and has today, on his way to China, he's doing all these interviews. God bless him, because Joe Biden was in a coma while this president doesn't stop. And I know what he meant when he actually said, I don't care about people's financial well-being. He meant in comparison to a nuclear bomb. But he did not say in comparison to a nuclear bomb. And the Democrats are going to run that video 100,000 times. Quote unquote, I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. That's what he said. And again, I know people that understand he means versus somebody having a nuclear bomb that can blow us up. Doesn't matter. I wish less of him, less yapping. He put out 55 tweets last night. 55 tweets last night. And you can go read some of them, because you would think straitjackets and rubber rooms were needed on some of them. And I say this with so much wanting of him to do great things. Anyway, an admiral came out and agreed with everything that I have said. And hopefully things get fixed up. I believe what's happened here, it was for... When you are a billionaire, the president of the United States, elected twice, lived through assassinations, you tend to believe you can do nothing wrong and say nothing wrong, and everything you do is going to work out. And you do know Trump, part of his MO is just say anything, and who cares what anybody says about it? Well, there's midterm election coming up, and we'll see how it goes. I'm wishing him well. I can't wait to get out of this Iranian crap. I want oil prices up another 3 and change today. You know what's going on at the pump. And it matters to the economy. It really does. And I must tell you, I'm at a gas station the other day and I'm filling up. And somebody walks over to me and says, "Yeah, I've been watching you on Fox. We like what you do. Can you please speak to the president about these gas prices?" This is what I got. Anyway. In case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, and quite the interesting day today. I'm going to give you some bad numbers and tell you all of the bad numbers were good. We'll do the economy, your job, your industry, anything that bubbles up, anything that matters. And there's a lot of crap going on. They're going to destroy the state of Washington. They're going to destroy New York City with these frickin' communist policies. And by the way, I don't use the word communist as a pejorative. These people are control freaks. And anything that matters, we will talk about. If you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. We're quite charming and sarcastic. And if you'd like to email me like these other people, I got a ton of emails on the things that I have said. Everybody was respectful. The people that disagree were respectful except one person. Move to Canada. That's what somebody said to me. All right, so listen carefully. The NASDAQ was down 185 today, and it was terrific. The NASDAQ 100 was down 255, and it was terrific. The semiconductors were down 364 today. It was terrific. Symbol LITE down 60. Terrific. SanDisk was down $95 today. The leading name down 95. Terrific. Seagate down 25. Western Digital down 27. Terrific. No, I don't drink. By the way, I had my second drink this year on the weekend. As you know, I really don't drink, but I'll average 5 a year. I should mention this. If you ever have a chance to go to a restaurant in New York City, the name Perse, Perse. It's in Columbus Circle. It was my top 5. And you know I go to these good restaurants. I had a drink there. It was a toned-down bourbon with the taste of black cherry and chocolate. And it was so good. That was number 2. Okay, so I said to you, Micron was down $28. Terrific. Huh? How can that be? Okay. The areas I have just mentioned have come a very long way. Did you know that? Yeah, you knew that. They've come a very long way. And this morning, the NASDAQ, which finished down 185, at one time today was a lot lower. In fact, the NASDAQ at one time today hit 25,739, 350 points off the lows. It was down over 500. I got to make sure of that number. Yeah, it hit 25,739. That's about 350 points. It was down 535 points at one time today. And I must also tell you, the low that was put in was at 12:55 p.m. And I also must tell you something else. One, if you look at oil and yields today, one would think there's no way that the market would come back. Because I got news for you. Oil prices are up $4 today. Yields on the 10-year. Closed at 4463. You know what the high was of the last few weeks? 4484. The 30-year is back above 5. One would have thought they would have smacked the living crap out of this thing today, and they didn't. How about the Sox? We'll be up with the Sox up next on this, the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. By the way, I still cannot believe that yesterday on this show I was talking about redistricting and gerrymandering with the Senate. I'm not that dumb, I swear. By the way, in case you don't know, in the last 60 days, make it 90, I was very close to running for Congress. But somebody I know that I'm not best friends with, I'm friendly with. Friendly business acquaintance is running instead, and I didn't want to compete with that person. Maybe another time. I'm really interested because the Republicans are running away. A ton of them retiring. They know they're going to be out of power in November, most likely. That's the chalk. I'd be fine with that. But as of now, not happening. But if they bow out, I may jump in. Because it's needed. Okay, where was I? I even forgot where I was. Where the heck was I? Wherever I was. We're stretched, extended to the upside. You're having a real bad morning at a 12:55. Market bottomed and pretty much rolled towards the end of the day. What happened early, the Dow took over. When the market gets defensive, it buys defensive. The Dow finished up today, 50 points, with the NASDAQ down 185, with the NASDAQ 100 down 255, with the SOX down a big 363. But I got to tell you, after the move that it's had, it's nothing. Now, that doesn't mean tomorrow you go lower. We're not saying it's not. And frankly, it should. But what do I know? I do want to let you know, though, listen carefully, housing, another relative low today. Retail did not bounce today. And, there were certain ones that I followed just for whatever. Names that were at new yearly highs a few months ago. Boot Barn down another 5% today. Burlington, retail, housing related, autos, auto dealers, cruise lines, airlines, casinos, to a lesser extent hotels, most restaurants remain an absolute horror show. That's the consumer. So the negative today is the consumer stocks. Really crappy. Really crappy. And there's some restaurant stocks that have imploded. Wingstop, destroyed. Another new yearly low. Never been to one. Shake Shack, new yearly low, just gapped down. Never been to one. Brinker International, rolling over. Domino's Pizza. Let me see where that is at now. Domino's Pizza is at pretty close to the 2021, and has been absolutely obliterated. So restaurants, and I always wonder, is the market saying something? We know about oil prices, but we're being told, though, the economy's fine. The Atlanta Fed said this quarter should be 2.5%. And then I look at the markets and I'm like, Fortunately today, the big banks found some support. Still not in bull mode in any way, shape, or form. JP Morgan's trading where it did last July, August. But earlier today, it was gagging even more after 3 bad days down for a JP Morgan and reversed to finish up 1.5%. That was needed. That helped the Dow. I also have to mention helping the Dow big time finally is United Health. Gapped up twice. One was on news about how much they get paid by our government, meaning our tax dollars. And then earnings came out, which were flat, but better than expected. And do you know United Health is at a 1-year high? New yearly high. And as you know, they've had a lot of problems. You know this whole story. The old high was back. If I can get my little thingy here to work. The old high was back in 24 at 607. Did 608, closed at 396 today. It was 260. So good comeback. I have never bought hospitals. I believe I've bought United Health in the past, but I've always worried. You know how many times I have seen hospitals and managed care stocks just out of nowhere crumble because, something came out for the government. Instead of a 2.5% increase, they only got 1.5%, and the stock would drop 22%. So I'm careful about those. I don't think I've bought an airline since JetBlue, and I think it was early 2000s, and I made good money. I've never understood an industry where you can charge $500 from New York to Boston, but $200 New York to LA. So I've never really bought airlines either. And by the way, to me, that's like protesting, charging for everything. And by the way, I haven't invested in eBay forever. Also, I got ripped off by some woman's business on eBay, and they didn't give a crap about me. Wouldn't even talk to me, wouldn't help me, wouldn't do anything for me. eBay gave me the middle finger on somebody on their platform screwing me, who, by the way, ended up going to jail. She was selling fake vacations. And like a doofus, I didn't do a credit card, I did a check. And do you know how sometimes things work? 7 years after it all happened, I guess she got out of jail and went to work. She had to pay restitution. The county or city of San Diego, where she was from or whatever, was sending me checks to cover what I lost. Some of it. I never got the whole thing back. But sometimes things do work. I was the doofus. Anyway, it was supposedly a good deal. So that gives you an idea what I don't do. But back on point, and maybe they worsen tomorrow, but the semis and some of the top flight names, Micron was down $80 today. Finished down 28. That's what I meant. Hey, up next, more of this, that, and the other thing, and whatever else. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. SanDisk was down like 170, finished down 100. Still down 100, but you got to remember what kind of a big move it's had. So just letting you know, NASDAQ 100, the semiconductors are down pretty decently, but way off the lows on a day. Listen carefully, this is important, where oil prices are up almost $4 and yields finished right at the highs of the day. That kind of flummoxes me, but also tells me what the market's speaking out. Now, will it get hit tomorrow? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner tonight. We're past a lot of the earnings. There's a few here and there, and I know we'll get some retail and some other things. But overall, we're past most. I do want to make sure, be careful about the froth and speculation still. They've been going up with a better market. Remember what I said the last time, that ultimately, eventually, they're all going to go back where they came from, and they will have their moments again in a better market where froth picks up. Be careful. Be careful. I guess the word isn't heartbroken, but it really, for me, some analysts put a buy recommendation on our poster child a few days ago. OKLO. And again, this has nothing to do with the company. I don't know the company. I never met the people. They may be nice, but they have no sales. And we warned you on all these back in September, and at the highs, it had a almost $30 billion market cap with no sales. It went from 194 recently down to 45. And you know what it's done in the last few weeks with the better market? It's back up to 73. It's a big move. Still down from 194, but it's got a $13.5 billion market cap and no sales. No sales. Yet somebody, an analyst, put a buy recommendation on it. I can't tell you how much that pisses me off. And usually it's because they have some investment banking crap with them. I'm not going to mention who. And they just reported earnings after the close today. More no sales. More no sales. Whoopee frickin' do. And again, we're not here to beat up on companies. We're here to protect you from what works and does not work in the stock market. And we're not saying it's not going to have gargantuan sales going forward. We hope they do. But in the meantime, they have murdered a lot of the rare earth, nuclear, quantum computing, some of the drone companies. Just remember, when you buy a stock, you're buying a company, and you're also buying that valuation. Would you pay $13 billion for a company with no sales? It's a damn good question that analyst didn't ask. Just making a point. And we'll keep reporting on this. It's big time important. I can't tell you how much money was lost in September, October, November in all those no sale stocks. There are a few down 80% from the highs. Highly touted names down 80% from the highs. Highly touted. Anything else going on? The president's going to China. He gets along great with the guy. I got news for you. The guy doesn't give a crap. I always hear about China. They're the enemy. I don't think China even cares. In case you don't know, China has been building a monster around the world. Go look up the Belt and Road. You know, I was in Athens, Greece years ago. I don't know, about 7 years ago. And I'm at the port. China owns 50% of it. I started to look up Belt and Road. They've been cutting partnerships around the world on all kinds of businesses, acting in their own best interests. And in case you don't know, they have a huge economy. Now, they've gone away from a more business-oriented to more communistic again. But there's I think they were getting 50-50. It's probably 30-70. Businesses still function there. If you go there, you'll be able to see that. I don't know the whole story on taxes and stuff like that. But it's very weird that so many pundits worry about them so much when we should all be partners. Simple as that. They have 1.5 billion people. I'd like to sell lemonade there. And they've had a lot of missteps. They built these cities, not just buildings, cities, where I was traveling with a guide down. I found a few of them. They have real estate problems, debt problems. And he's a communist running the joint. President's there, who knows? It's going to be great. Because that's what the president always, everything's great. As far as the Iran thing, nothing good's coming of it. I think at this point, as long as we don't go back to war, I think we're okay. If we do, and the president's threatening again, I don't know. All I do know is oil prices, light sweet, $98 right now. And how about the Brent crude for July, 107? And of course, you don't give a crap about those numbers. You just go to the gas tank, the gas pump, and you see what you're seeing. And it adds up. And of course, some morons are blaming the gas oil companies. That's not their fault. They can only deal with the spot price that's based worldwide. It's not the gas station's fault. In case you don't know, gas stations make hardly any money on their gas. When I was looking to buy gas stations years ago, you know what they told me, who the owners? You know where we make most of our money? In the store. And there's a big margin on rolling papers. Seriously. Never ended up doing it, though. Probably should have. Then again, Wawa is taking over now. Here in Florida, it's Wawa City. Wawa here, Wawa there. Wawa everywhere. Wawa. And Buc-ee's. But they only open in certain places. But when they open, it's like the size of an airport. If you ever been to Buc-ee's, you got to go check that out. It's an event. It's a big wow. So, I think today was somewhat of a non-event, even though it was a bad day overall for the tech, NASDAQ, semiconductors, but way off the lows. And for areas that are so stretched and extended to the upside, and with oil prices at the high of the day, yields at the high of the day, call me surprised. Maybe they get them tomorrow. Up next. Yeah, we'll figure it out. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Da-da-da. What did I tell you? Headline. Drudge report that gets billions of eyes. I don't think about American financial situation. The quote from the president. Oh, they're going to drive that baby home like there's no tomorrow. And that's what I mean by I think they got to watch themselves. It is I can promise you the 2 years that the president finishes out his term and Hakeem Jeffries is the Speaker of the House and they have all the committees, all hell's going to break loose. all hell's going to break loose. And the Drudge hates Trump. It used to be very straight Republican, but whatever, and they got to the point where they can't stand Trump. Inflation came out today, by the way, higher than expected, and that's where the questions were coming from today. That be your story. Apple. You ready for this? Has bought back $732 billion in stock over the past 10 years. And you know that helps EPS and it undilutes you. That is bigger than 488 of the 500 stocks in the S&P 500. What a freaking story. Ready for the next one? Do you know Google bought YouTube for $1.65 billion? When did Google buy YouTube? October 9th, 2006. $1.65 billion. It now generates $1.65 billion in revenue every 15 days. What is YouTube now worth? Between 500 and 560 billion from 1.65 billion. Holy crap. I don't use YouTube often, but when I go travel, I'll just put up whatever hotels I'm looking at, and amazed at what's on there. Everything is on there. Everything. I got a little business in Europe in a month, and I think I'm headed to Budapest. So I put up some hotels in Budapest, whatever they call it, and I had no idea there's a Buda and a Pest. It's on different sides of the river, and they have one after the other people doing reviews on YouTube that have these businesses on YouTube. And they walk through the hotels and show you everything. And I guess they get paid a certain amount. What an unbelievable economy that has come from, got them at eBay stores, Amazon stores, YouTube videos, Instagram videos. Have you ever heard of this Yes Chef? It's like a 24-year-old guy that started. He's got like a couple of million. He now does these food festivals that thousands of people show up, post videos. It's amazing what people. I've always thought about the last couple of years, I should retire and just do travel videos as I travel the world. I think I do pretty well. But you know what you got to do? Then you got to edit and all that. These people are real professional about it. This guy, Yes Chef, it looks like he's got a couple of people that are always with him with the camera, and they do editing and things like that. Do you know there's another guy on Instagram that has these 3 dogs, and he feeds them? He's got a couple of million followers. I forgot his name, and he's in a foreign country. They're like 3 pugs or boxers. And I watch the videos. I mean, they got you. And then you have all these workout people. And they have a bazillion followers. It's amazing. I'm in the wrong business. Just letting you know why I'm bringing this up, right? Because as I have said to you, this AI thing, you never know what's going to come of it. And all these companies have been letting go of people, and we say become indispensable at your firms. But if you end up out, find your passion and put it up on Instagram or YouTube channel it or something like that. People are making zillions. Do you know, a few years back, I think I mentioned, it's like an 8-year-old kid in Thailand playing with toys, and they're making like $12 million a year. They have that many followers. Not kidding. So I wanted to bring that up today because I'm looking at this YouTube thing, and I'm like, and then I was reading these stories about these Instagram people that have 2 million, 5 million followers. And you have others that, you know what they do? They walk around and they give money to homeless and waitresses and stuff, and they got millions of followers. This guy named Josh does nothing but good things for people. And it blew up big time. And I don't know, and then he has this community of people that he raised $78,000. I saw a video today for a woman who has a kid with cerebral palsy that needed a new van. Things like that. I'm in the wrong business. Anyway, you all have a great evening. Drive carefully. Think about all that. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise. Stay well, be well. I'm going to work out. Have a good night.